All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Disrespected Fathers podcast show. And uh, a little bit with you guys. Um, Not going to be on for a while. Um, Couple of things going on as far as mindset wise is concerned. And not going to be on for a while. I'll let you guys know the final day that I'm doing it. And we can uh, we can talk about it later. But all the people who haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Um, Hit the notification button um, so you know when we do another video. You don't even have to like or comment anymore. Just The message now is to educate you about these children that are being taken away from us. We got another one. This one happened back in 2023 out in Kentucky in November of 23, where a woman stood over her two sons and shot them both in the head. And I just want you to listen. I'm not going to talk too much longer about it.
6-year-old Maurice Baker Jr. and 9-year-old Jaden Howard lost their lives last November. And it wasn't due to an accident or sickness, no. It was due to murder. And it was a murder committed by, of all people, their own mother, Tiffany Ann Lucas. Neighbors of the 33-year-old in Bullitt County, Kentucky say she came running out of her home, crying for help, was laying down in the driveway. A neighbor found these two boys with gunshot wounds to the head inside of Lucas's home. They were rushed to a hospital, but they both died. Lucas was arrested and she was charged with murder. And the natural question, of course, is why? Why would she do this? Well, during an interrogation, she told detectives that she may have been manipulated into murdering her children, possibly by the internet or Facebook. It's bizarre, I know. Then she seemingly tried to say the shooting had been accidental. Lucas entered a not guilty plea. And by the way, at one point there were talks about a possible insanity defense. But later on, she had a change of heart. She chose to change her plea to guilty, meaning there would be no trial here. We would all be spared from having to see photos of these children. A jury was spared of having to see these children. We'd all be spared hearing about what happened that day. But because she pled guilty, and this was an open plea, there was no plea deal here, this left her fate, her sentence, in the hands of the judge. So what happens? This week,
All right. So this broad went all the way up and down the reasons for killing her two handsome little fellas, Maurice and Jaden. Went all the way up and down why she killed him, saying she was manipulated by Facebook. I believe the manipulation part, and I'll get to that in a second. And there was something about a sugar daddy or something else. It's starting to come to me uh, a little bit why she killed these two kids. And you can see they're in Kentucky. They're in Kentucky. And she is a mother of two biracial kids. Let's continue.
Maurice and Jaden's family members crowded into a courtroom for Lucas's sentencing. And there is something to note here. While Lucas was the mother of both of these boys, they had different families, hence the different last names. So you're seeing a lot of different family members here. And I should also tell you, apparently under Kentucky Commonwealth law, the judge could have either decided 70 years in prison or life in prison without parole for 20 years. So with that in mind, now let's get into the hearing. One of the responding officers from this grisly crime scene that day told the court that the defendant was most certainly the killer.
Detective, is there any doubt in your mind that Tiffany Lucas was the person who shot Jaden Howard and Maurice Baker?
There's no doubt at all.
Now, in terms of Lucas's defense team, they contended that she was suffering from a psychotic break from reality, that she really didn't know what she was doing when she shot her sons. But the victim's family members say if she was having a mental episode, it was likely connected back to her apparent drug use.
Now, I'm telling you now, you see how she's, dressing up. It almost looks like, she's obviously she sleeps and dates black guys, and nothing wrong with that to me. But it looks like she's putting on too much to be a sister, and I don't care about any of that. All I care is about the fact that these two handsome little fellows are gone, and she's trying to wiggle her way out of it, saying a psychotic episode. And why are these defense attorneys? I understand they have to get paid, but why are these defense attorneys still pushing the narrative that she had something wrong with her? She had something, but the oldest was 9, the youngest was 6. You didn't have nothing wrong with you all the way up until 9, all the way up until this child got 9 years old. Hey, Lana, how are you doing? Explain to me in the comments what you mean.
I know, this is a very tough case. But look, you can't ignore it. It's important to understand what happened, to see how the justice system works here, to hold Lucas accountable. And we have been trying to cover this story from the very beginning. And look, the truth is, we're really able to do that, not only because of the amazing support that we get from you all, but also from our sponsors. And I have to call out our incredible partner, Morgan & Morgan, for this. Because here's the thing, if you should claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar. Now, before the judge handed down his sentence, victim impact statements were provided. And one by one, the little boy's family members made their way to the witness stand to talk about how Lucas's callous decision changed their lives forever. And first we heard from Jaden's grandmother. And I should tell you that Jaden's father had passed away previously. So when you think about this, when you think about Regina Rowan, she is now left without both her son and her grandson.
You know we love Jaden and Maurice. You know Jaden was the only thing we had left. And you took him from us. You know I had already lost his dad. And then my other son. And then you took Jaden. You have ripped our lives apart. And you know that you could have gave them kids to us, and we would have took care of them.
Grandmother brings up a very good point. Why didn't you give the kids to somebody that cares, that could have taken care of them? If you're such in a mental state, why didn't you give the kids to somebody that could have taken care of them? Selfish and stupid. This woman has lost her sons and her grandson. She's basically left with nothing. This is why you need to start doing mental checks on these people that you date.
But you have been selfish. My heart is in pieces. And you know that you have always had a place to drop them off. You took him from me, and I hurt every day. Every second of the day, I hurt. And I hope they give you 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. I want you to suffer just like I'm suffering right now. They did not deserve that. You took my little man from me. And we all love him so much, Jaden and Maurice. I don't have nothing else to say. She just knows, she knows she done ripped us apart.
Mr. Taylor, any additional?
I get chills listening to her speak because I know the bond that a grandmother and a grandson has. I'm a father of 5, and I know the bond that a grandmother and a grandson has. My son is my mother's favorite baby. Love her more than she loves me. And he's 30 plus now. You ripped this woman's heart away when you took this child and the other child from her, because she's standing up fighting for both children. And one of them isn't her grandson, but she's defending both. That's just what we do.
Question?
No other questions.
Any questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Is this witness free to be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome to have a seat back in the courtroom or leave the courthouse.
Bobby Baker, an aunt, had some very strong words for Tiffany Lucas.
What is your relationship to the victims in this case, the 2 little boys?
I'm an aunt.
Okay,
Maurice, but I consider myself Jaden's aunt as well.
understand. Would you please read your impact statement for the court?
Tiffany, on November 8th, 2023, you changed the lives of 2 beautiful boys. You broke my brother's heart, my heart, and the heart of anyone who have encountered them. Jaden and Maurice didn't see you for who you really are. They loved you so much, but at the end of the day, you became what children their age fear the most, a monster. Not for 1 minute do I believe, like you said, you were in a hard spot. You had support in so many ways that you could have used. Like I often told you when we spoke, being a good mom is also making a decision that you can't give the boys the best life and allowing another parent to step in. But you refused to do so selfishly because it wouldn't align with what social media saw. Instead, you decided to play God and decide the boy's faith. I often see these court shows where the defendants are forgiven by the victim's family, but not today, not by me. I will never forgive you.
I love this auntie. I really do. I love this auntie. She is, she feels like I do about this. You're wanting forgiveness. I can't do that. You have taken something from me. You have taken something from me. And how does me forgiving you make me feel inside when I know it's a fake form of forgiveness? I'm not forgiving you for that. You had every opportunity. You loser. You had every opportunity to give these kids to the grandmothers and the grandparents, but you chose not to because you're selfish and you're just a lousy person. You're just a terrible person.
I struggle and often wonder what else kind of pain did they endure at the hands of you before you ultimately took their life. Part of this statement I was going to write, I hope every day you close your eyes that they haunt you. but I don't. You don't deserve to see them, and they shouldn't see you. If he decides to give you any kind of leniency today and grant you parole at some point, I'll be there at every parole hearing. Do you hear me? I'll be there at every parole hearing.
Hold on, Mayor.
Ms. Baker, just a moment.
Hold on. The mayor.
I love this auntie. She feels the same way about this. Why should your privileged mindset allow you to, even be haunted or daydream about these kids? I hope they never come to you in a vision at all. And I'm with her on that. I don't feel bad for you. And anybody in the courthouse, and we'll get to that, anybody in the courthouse that's feeling bad for her need to be ashamed of themselves. You got a loser's mindset.
You have more questions?
I have no further questions.
There are questions from the defense?
Yeah.
Then you can go ahead and leave. Thank you.
By the way, after she left the witness stand, Baker couldn't even make it to the courtroom door before she burst into tears. She sobbed as she walked out of the courtroom and into that hall. Naomi Crawford, Michelle Reddy, also aunts of the victims, they were next to give statements.
I just want to tell the court and mainly tell you that you took away our chance to have a relationship with my nephew. When my brother calls me, I wonder how he's doing, and I answer the phone so quickly. I hope he's okay, because I remember how you broke him. So at 12:30 at night when he calls me, if I don't answer that phone, if I don't see that phone call, I'm in such agony because I wonder, is he okay? Do you need me? That's my answer to him. His son is gone. You can never bring him back. And there is nothing and no amount of time that this court could.
Now, auntie right here is with this. You as an auntie, you should have put your brother on game. That ain't your job to, but you should put him on game with these silly broads. Help him work this out through the legal system. And he's this guy, the other, I think it was Maurice's father that has been to prison. You're going to hear him speak. We're going to zoom up to that. But we got to do better about helping the family out. If we want family to be family, we got to do better by helping the family out by, helping them get to the resources that's going to help us get our, get our kids in the right hands.
Give you that is fair. Life expectancy is about 70 years. You took 60 from them. Anything less than 60 for both of them or each of them is not even enough. It's difficult to even mouth the words that my nephew was killed, that he was murdered.
Let's go.
With you being a mama, you're not supposed to do it to your own kids. I don't have kids myself, but I know.
I'm gonna get to the part where the father starts to speak, and I want you guys to notice one thing through this video.
This is the father to the little boy, often called Reese. And he told the judge.
Notice what the father
That he
says.
begged Tiffany.
I begged Tiffany for my son on so many different occasions because of drug use, the prostitution that she did, and the other way she had him in the harmful situation. I didn't just lose Maurice November the 8th. I lost my son really the day he was born, because ever since he was born, she held my son over my head. I begged her so many times to keep him out of harmful situations. Yeah, I cursed her. I threatened her. I did a lot. But only on behalf of my son. I begged her. She knew it. It's simple drug abuse. It's manipulation. I called around. There's not nobody in this courtroom I haven't called and talked from my family to her family that haven't heard about me, asking for my son and wondering what was going on with him. She kept him from me for a year straight. So many birthdays he missed. I have a party planned. She never let him come. I begged her. The last message, the last time I texted her, I asked her, please, can I just talk to my son? She ignored me. I'm asking that the court give her the maximum punishment. I'll never see my son again. Jaden's family will never see them again. Anything less than the maximum punishment for her doing this to them will be unjust. They don't have a second chance. She chose to take drugs, put them in that situation. It was people begging for those kids, not just me as a father. It's aunties, cousins, her family members. Of course she had a breakdown. Methamphetamine does that. Opiates does that. You took the choice to do those drugs. I've been in prison before. I took for the consequence. Choices I've made, I suffer consequences. She needed consequence. She's always been able to manipulate.
Now, maybe not surprisingly, no one spoke on behalf of Tiffany Lucas. And I will tell you, during...
And that's the point I'm trying to make. Nobody came and spoke on her behalf. Nobody came and spoke on her behalf. I'm not going to go any further with this, but if you notice, like I said, nobody came and spoke on her behalf. After the father got up and spoke, he was going through this whole thing about, the parents tried to get her, to get the kids, or to get her to relinquish custody to them. I honestly keep saying CPS services need to be held accountable. I'm tired of that word. CPS service need charges brought up on them. CPS service need charges brought up on them. Understand, this man was going through prison and everything else, and he gets home and his son's dead. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm thinking this woman, and it gives me Susan Smith vibes. It's giving me Susan Smith vibes. I'm pretty sure that she or whoever she was with, she probably was seeing somebody. Whoever she was with, I'm not fixing to mess around with nobody that has biracial kids, and I'm quite sure they didn't use that word. She's saying a sugar daddy and the internet influencer. You had plenty of influences. This is giving me Susan Smith vibes. The truth didn't come out, but she did get 2 life sentences for it. The truth didn't come all the way out. But I'm telling you, since the other father was in prison and the other father's deceased, one of the fathers is deceased and the other one was in prison, I'm not messing with no woman that has 2 biracial kids. She cleans herself up nicely, but nobody is going to date a woman that has 2 biracial kids. I'm pretty sure this guy was a sugar daddy. You see what I'm talking about? Let's do the math. You can't bring your biracial babies over here. That's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm feeling in my heart. They're in Kentucky, so why don't it make sense? Now I pray for the grandmother. I pray for the grandmother, and I pray for the grandparents on the other side also. But leave your. I like to know what you think about this, so leave it in the comments, and let me know what you think. We're out. Thank you guys for tuning in.